All right, it is 5:30, so I'm going to go ahead and get our webinar series started tonight. My name is Taylor Mingo. I am an admissions counselor here at McKendree University. And tonight we have our social science division faculty members here to talk with you about the social science program. So we are lucky enough to have a great group of faculty listed right here that are going to be sharing some information with you about the social science division. And we will also be talking a little bit about admission at McKendree at the end of this webinar. So please feel free to drop any questions into the Q&A in the chat. We will be monitoring that, and we will also be following up with some more questions at the end of this webinar. So we are going to go ahead and get started with our presenters here. They will be introducing themselves as they present, and we will go ahead and get started with our presentation.
Taylor, would you like me to say something right here?
Hi, yeah, Neil. So we have Dr. Quisenberry that will be starting off our presentation. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Taylor. Hi, I'm Neil Quisenberry, and I'm the chair of the Social Science Division. And just want to say a few things, and then you'll hear from everybody else, but just a few things from me. And that is, I think the Social Science Division covers such a great area. I know a lot of students are interested, particularly what's going on in our country and the world today. We have a lot of knowledgeable people in our division, and that's what they talk about, that's what they know about, that's what they teach about, and you're going to hear a little bit about that later on. But one of the things that, that social science does, employers want, and we just had this discussion today, employers are wanting critical thinkers. When they hire people, they want people to be able to think for themselves. They want critical thinkers. They want good communicators. They want people who have the types of credentials that we offer in the social sciences. And then also one of the things that we offer at McKendree, one of the biggest things we offer at McKendree, of course, and that is we're a small school, so our classes are small. I would say my intro classes are around 30. Of course, with COVID, they're smaller. My upper level classes may be around 12. And so one of the things having small classes is really getting to know students and know what they're interested in, know where they want to go when they graduate, so that when opportunities do come up, I know who to talk to, I know who to tell that they may be interested. I also, every time I get, because we have such good connections in the community, when I hear about internship opportunities or something, I'll send it out to all of our majors. So that's another really strong point about McKendree is our small classes. And then as you can see on the slide, which is probably most important for students and probably even more so than parents, and that is you can see a 98.6% graduation rate. And so if you compare that to other schools, that's really high, and we're proud of our students and we're proud of what we do, with our students and the success we have with the graduation rate. So I'll start there, and then Taylor, you can go wherever you want to go next.
Okay, so McKendree's general education program is designed to teach students to appreciate the world around them, consider diverse ideas, and think critically at a high level. So your chosen field of study within the Division of Social Science will have its own set of courses tailored to that specific path. And all of our programs feature a capstone course that serve as a academic experience for you. Our 2021 Undergraduate Catalog explains each of these programs and lists the specific courses required to graduate with this major. So you can find the course catalog listed on the McKendree website, and that is a great resource to be able to get into each one of these majors in the division and really read about the courses and the credits that are needed for that division. So as we go on here, we're going to kind of go into some of the other areas that the social science division has in their program. So we have history education, international relations, and political science, as well as a psychology department. criminal justice, sociology, and children and families are working in there. So as we go on here, we're going to go into our history and history education program. And I will go ahead and send it over to Lauren as well as Shelley.
Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Lauren Thompson, and I am a historian here at McKendree University. So I just want to talk to you a little bit about kind of why history is an important field to major in. And history is clearly the broadest and the most inclusive of all academic disciplines, since it properly includes the development of all other areas of study. So we study everything. The study of history is a solid preparation for life in an increasingly unpredictable modern world. A lot of people will use the cliche, if we don't know our history, we're doomed to repeat it. Well, unfortunately, we keep repeating things because we really don't know our history. And so what we try to do at McKendree, my faculty colleague and I, is we help you learn the ability to analyze and evaluate information critically, to interpret relationships, study people and the choices we make, investigate the human experience through the lens of race, class, and gender, see continuities between the past and present society, and evaluate alternate courses of action and interpretations of historical data. And so a history major will develop strong writing and research capabilities, and the culmination of your degree will be an original research paper during your senior year. Students thus in a history program like the one we have at McKendree will train you for employment in a wide array of career fields, including law, business, government, and education. We have alumni teaching in local school districts and all across the country, both at the high school level, the middle school level, and the university level. We have many graduates who work in museums, libraries, and archives, and serve as specialists in government and business. In addition to employment opportunities, right after graduation, some of our students are ready to embark and go on to competitive graduate programs upon leaving McKendree. In fact, my graduates from last year are now pursuing master's degrees at Princeton, the University of Illinois, the University of Illinois Springfield, and the University of Nevada at Reno. And so also during your time as a history major, we have a lot of fun. I have dinners with my students and we talk about current events. We go on field trips to St. Louis, and we also have opportunities to study with local archives and have internships. Also, you have the opportunity to get involved with the History Club, join our honor societies, Phi Alpha Theta and Pi Mu Gamma, and also to compete in national research opportunities with Phi Alpha Theta. Each year we have a conference of Illinois history, and we bring our majors and our students with us to Springfield, and our students get a real live historical experience and not only seeing the sites, but networking with history professors and students throughout the country. And so some of the classes that we teach at McKendree are African American history, US women's history, the Civil War, minorities in the American experience. And basically, if there's a class or something that you want to learn about, we can do it, because as historians, we study everything. So I'll be happy to answer any specific questions you have about the history program, and we would love to see you here in the fall. So thanks so much, and I'll hand it back to you, Taylor.
Thank you, Lauren. So we're going to go over now into our international relations and political science area, and I will hand it over to Brian and Anne.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brian Frederking. I teach political science here at McKendree. In our department, we tend to focus on the problems that we need to solve in a complex society in which we now live, whether it's healthcare or the environment or education. Society has become so complex that we often need common approaches, and for better or for worse, that includes the government. And so the study of government is intrinsically important for the study of contemporary problems that we need to solve in today's world. The majority of our students go on to law school and graduate school. The majority of our students also end up in usually government jobs. They work for the government. They work for interest groups, or they lobby. They go into the military, or they even go into practical politics, run for office, write the speeches, plan the campaigns. So there's a variety of opportunities with our major. With our department, one of the things that I like to do is provide research opportunities for students. I have this annual ritual of writing a paper with students, and we go to a conference and represent the paper. And probably 6 or 7 times we've actually published papers with students, and that just looks terrific for grad school applications. The other thing that I like to do in my classes are simulations, active learning. If you take a class in international law, we're going to have a war crimes tribunal. We'll put somebody on trial for war crimes, right? If we have an international relations course, we will simulate sort of an international peace conference to end the Syrian civil war, or something along those lines. And so we always want to provide those sort of active learning opportunities, give students a chance to immerse themselves again into real world problems, and just get a sense of how difficult dealing with these problems really are. Okay, and so you see the courses here. All of the programs here are going to have this sort of structure. There's required courses, capstone courses, and electives. We also have a senior thesis writing opportunity in our senior seminar. And we also have opportunities for special topics. If there's a special interest or a certain interest, we can offer a course in a certain area of the world, like Middle East politics or Asian politics or something along those lines. Anne, would you like to jump in?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm Ann Collins. As I like to say, I have the best job at McKendree because I get to teach American politics. And you may have noticed there've been some things in the news lately about American politics. If you're a student here at McKendree, you're going to have a lot of opportunities to jump in and get involved. So our students have served as interns, some for Senator Tammy Duckworth, some for Congressman Mike Bost. Sorry, my cat is trying to make an appearance. And we have opportunities for you to get involved. We go to Springfield, post-COVID, we'll go again and lobby our state representatives and talk to them about the importance of higher education to our lives. So there are things that you can get involved with right away as a student at McKendree. Also study abroad opportunities. So to see the world, we can, get you connected again post-COVID once we can go out into the world. So in the classroom and outside the classroom, you're going to be engaged and involved. And as Dr. Frederking said, Brian said, our students go on to do wonderful things, and we stay in touch with our students. They quite often get in touch with us and tell us, we felt so prepared, in law school and graduate school. So we're going to set you up to succeed. Taylor, back to you.
Thank you, Anne. Now we're going to go ahead and jump into the world of psychology. So Tammy and Guy, I will let you guys take it away.
All right, thank you very much. I'm Dr. Guy Boyson, and I will start us off here. So the first question you might ask is, who should join psychology? Who should major in psychology? And I would argue that everyone should. So the traditional people who are interested in psych are people who want to help others, and that is wonderful. That is a great mission in life, but we also are a science. So if you are interested in science, but you don't want to do science on things, you want to do science on people, then psychology is a great fit for you as well. And if you just are interested in what makes people tick and want to enter the workforce, psychology is great for you as well. So how do we get you to that end point of being an expert in psychology? You can see the required courses on the screen. So what we do first is we introduce you to some of the basic topics of psychology, and we give you a broad overview of the different content areas. And so you can see we have a few required courses, but then a lot of elective courses that let you choose to study the areas of psychology that you're most interested in. And the other thing that we do, I think, very effectively in our program is we send you off with some good capstone experiences. So we have a professional seminar that helps you prepare your resume, prepare grad school applications, research jobs, research grad schools, no matter where you're going, that sends you on the right path. And how do you make this argument that you're a good fit for a job or a good fit for grad school? You have to have a really good resume. And one of the things we help you with that is every single student who graduates from our program does a senior thesis. And that makes you able to argue that you know how to run a project, analyze data, plan for the future, present things in both an oral and a written format to communicate ideas. And every single employer and every single grad school wants exactly that. So where do our students go? Well, I would say roughly about half of our students go almost immediately onto a graduate school program at the master's or the doctoral level. And then also students go on to the workforce. So like I said, you have a very good argument that you are the type of person that should be employed if you come out of our program. And along the way, we do a lot of cool stuff too. There's opportunities for internships, both on campus and off campus in whatever field related to psychology you might want to work in. We have several honor societies that we advise. And then we also do a lot of research with our students. So just literally today, I was working with students and we were starting to polish up an abstract for a conference we were going to, and also a paper that we were submitting for publication. So if you're interested in these types of things, psychology has lots of opportunities for you. And so now I'm going to pass things on. The cool thing is in psychology, you also have sort of a double opportunity because we also have biopsychology. So Dr. Michael Hahn is going to talk about that.
Thanks, Guy. So I'm Dr. Michael Hahn. I am a second year assistant professor here at McKendree. And as Guy mentioned, I have a special focus in biopsychology. And so what is biopsychology? Real simply, it is the study of how basically the biological processes that underlie mental activity and behavior. So our major is relatively new, and so it was founded in the past 5 years. Originally, there was a Bachelor of Science track, which had a special emphasis in the more like biological aspect. But since then, we have added a Bachelor of Arts major. And so if you're more interested in the psychology side of things, then that's where we'll kind of steer you. One great thing, though, that we have here at McKendree is, we faculty members are also advisors. And so we'll constantly talk with you and work with you to figure out what's the right path for you to get to where you want to go. In terms of the Bachelor of Arts major of biopsychology, we currently have 48 majors. And as I mentioned, this was just founded in the past 5 years. And so we've seen kind of this explosion, relatively speaking, in terms of numbers, and all signs point to this major growing in size. And so it's really an exciting time to teach in the program. In terms of the curriculum, there's a lot of overlap with the psychology major. In terms of courses, though, biopsychology is like a required course. It's one that I teach. It's one that I'm very passionate about and I really enjoy. Other courses you could take in addition to this, anatomy and physiology, both 1 and 2. So we have 2 kind of successive courses there. Abnormal psychology is a requirement. And as Guy mentioned, we have this capstone class, basically. So it's supposed to be like this kind of cumulative experience to where you get the opportunity to, go on field trips and do kind of volunteer work and things like that. And so it's really a great immersive experience that you get to do. Another kind of great benefit that we have here is that our class sizes are quite small. And so again, we have, with that comes like this like personalized feel. We know you, we know your name, we know your interest and things like that. And so it's really, really great. In terms of what students tend to do after they graduate, it can kind of even split in terms of a lot of students go directly into the workforce, whereas others, they pursue graduate education. And so, sometimes students go to cognitive neuroscience programs, occupational therapy, speech pathology. And so we give you a lot of options and a lot of different ways to go. So that's all I have on the biopsych program. I'm going to now hand it off to Dr. Tammy Eggleston, and she's going to talk more about the psychology program.
Thank you, Michael and Guy. I just wanted to highlight just a couple of the things that Michael and Guy did not highlight, and that's our minors. In addition to our psych major and our biopsych major, we also have a clinical and counseling minor for people who are very interested in just going into counseling fields. We also have a sports psychology minor that has been very popular. Sports psychology is a growing field, so you could be a psych major and a sports psych minor. And then we have occupational therapy as either a major or a minor. And with the occupational therapy major, you basically come to McKendree for 3 years, and then you apply and are accepted at Washington University for the last 2 years. So you're able to get a master's degree in 5 years. And that program has been in existence for over 20 years. And almost every year we send 1 or 2 students on that 3-2 program. What we send even more students for the occupational therapy major is where they come to McKendree. They usually end up majoring in biopsychology, and then they go on to an OT master's program. We have just signed an agreement with Rockhurst, where Rockhurst will accept 1 McKendree student at least every single year, because they've been so impressed with their cohorts of McKendree students. So they have now said that they will accept at least 1, sometimes even more than 1 now a year. So we have sort of partnerships in grad school for occupational therapy. Through sports psych, clinical counseling, occupational therapy, we also encourage internships, especially for OT. You really need to get out there and get some real world experience working in nursing homes, working in hospitals, etc. So a lot of our OT students do internships. A lot of our sports psych and OT students also do independent research projects. And Dr. Boyson and Dr. Hahn and myself and Dr. Kemp, we're all really passionate about making sure that we give the information and the opportunities to students so they can get into their dream graduate programs. And one dream graduate program may just be our master's program in clinical mental health right here at McKendree. So we do have some students who come to McKendree, they get their psych degree, and then they stay at McKendree and they complete their master's program. So we have a pretty large program, but we still keep the focus on the student so that the students have great success getting their dream job or getting into their grad school.
Okay, thank you, Tammy and Guy and Michael for that information about our psychology department and everything that you can do in there. So we're gonna move on here to our criminal justice department with some of our professors, Dr. Quisenberry as well. Robin and Melissa are going to be joining him.
Okay, thank you, Taylor. This is Neil Quisenberry again, and I have to say I don't think it's fair that I have to talk after all of my colleagues have already talked, and I've been so impressed with all that they've said. Now I have to follow that. So I'll follow up by saying that our sociology program, and I'll let Dr. Swink talk in just a second. She's been here, this is her 2nd year. I've been here 18 years, so I've been around a little bit longer. But I will say that probably just like my colleagues, we have a really good idea of what our students want to do. And the sociology program is a very, very broad program. And so we have students who have interest in so many different areas. My primary area is criminal justice. And so we have a lot of students who want to be in law enforcement at the local level, the state level, and the federal level. And we have students in all of those areas. We have students who go immediately to grad school. Again, they go in all different directions. I have 2 students who have PhDs now and teach at universities themselves. And it's great because I get to run into them at conferences every year, and pre-COVID, get to run into them at conferences and just catch up. So that's a lot of fun. The other thing I think my colleagues mentioned about internships, and for the criminal justice side of the house, we highly recommend internships. They're not required, but they're just so highly recommended. One of the problems is when students graduate, they don't have any experience. And so a lot of jobs will say, what experience do you have? Well, college students, it's kind of hard to have that experience, but internships definitely give, at least a degree of experience and also connections. All of my students who do internships make such good connections around the area. So we have really great internship partners. Our students really, like I said, they're not required, but most of our students do them. And you know, I highly recommend them. The other thing, as Tammy mentioned earlier, is we also have minors, and it just so happens that psychology and sociology fit really well together. Not only are people psychology majors and sociology minors, or sociology majors and psychology minors, we probably have the largest number of students who do a double major between sociology and psychology. So the two fields are very related. Our students like both programs, and so they end up, you know, double majoring. You know, a lot of students do. And we as a faculty make it really easy between sociology and psychology to do that double major. The other thing is, just like psychology and others have said, we do travel. Our conference, our regional conference, is usually in Chicago, and it's pretty easy for us to get to Chicago. So we take students to that conference. Again, pre-COVID, we were able to do that, and hopefully we'll be able to do it again soon. I'm trying to think, there are other areas within sociology that are really upcoming areas, again, particularly with the Black Lives Movement, the Me Too movement. You know, so much going on right now that my political science colleagues could talk about. So I'll let Dr. Swink talk about some of the other areas in sociology that she's more involved in. So Dr. Swink.
Hi, thanks, Neil. Yes, I'm Dr. Robin Swink, and as Neil mentioned, I'm in my second year here at McKendree. Neil was suggesting some important things that a sociology degree can offer, especially in today's world where more and more people are becoming aware of issues related to race, class, and gender. Having a really critical understanding of how these things play out and patterns and inequality in society is going to really serve people well in a lot of different careers that they'll end up in. And I think Neil talked about the fact that we have 3 different tracks where you can focus kind of your attentions depending on your career goals, which helps people kind of tailor their sociology experience to the long term. I'm particularly invested in teaching classes related to race and ethnic relations, class and inequality, and gender, which are requirements for some of these tracks. Yeah, and there's really just no way to oversell the importance of having this degree. I like to say that everyone should take sociology classes to just be a responsible citizen in our social world. You'll develop critical thinking skills. A lot of our classes emphasize a lot of writing, so you become a better writer, which will serve you in the future. I think Neil mentioned as well that we have a sociology club that also helps not only do kind of fun activities to get people thinking sociologically, like thinking critically about different movies, but also we'll have grad students come in and share their experiences in grad school. Alumni will come in and talk about their career experiences. It's really just a very exciting field. Our students are great. I want to echo what other folks said about the small classroom size. You really are able to kind of delve into some issues that can be difficult to discuss, but are really important to be able to know how to discuss responsibly. And the small classes are a great space to do that. Yeah, so any of these tracks will kind of serve you well depending on which kind of career goals you are hoping for. So yeah, everyone should take sociology classes, and definitely encourage becoming a major or minor because it will serve you well in a lot of different fields. Yeah, and I think that's it. I don't know if Neil had anything else, or Taylor.
Thank you both for all of that information on the sociology area, as well as those criminal justice tracks and different things that students can do with that degree. So next year, we're just going to go over some frequently asked questions for our social science division. So Tammy, what makes the McKendree University academic experience different or better than other institutions, would you say?
Wow, I didn't know I was going to get the what makes us better, but I'm happy to say that I've been at McKendree for 25 years, and I wouldn't have stayed at McKendree this long if I didn't think that our social sciences division did a lot of things better. Some of the things that we do, as you could tell from the presentations tonight, where we really encourage students to get engaged in our classrooms, and we really mean that. Our classes tend to have a lot of active learning, a lot of team projects, just a lot of teaching that really makes a difference. You're not going to just sit in a big classroom with 100 other students and not get to know your classmates and get to know your faculty members really well. And I think that makes us really special. I think the research opportunities, the internship opportunities, and I like to say that McKendree is just located in a really excellent location where we're just 25 miles away from St. Louis. So we have all those resources of a big city, but yet we're not in a big city. We're in Lebanon, Illinois. So I think we really have the best of a lot of worlds. And that's why I think that the McKendree academic experience is really quite special. One thing that none of us talked about, which we just take for granted now, is we also have an academic excellence celebration day. And since all of our students in all of our majors engage in some research, they have the opportunity to present at our big AEC that happens every year. We actually do not have classes on one day, and students across campus share their research. And it's really one of my very favorite days where I'm so proud of all of our seniors as they present their class research. And I could go on and on because I love McKendree, but I'll stop there.
Thank you, Tammy. Appreciate it. So we'll kind of open up a few of these other questions that we get frequently asked for this division. So I will pick on Neil. How do students get involved in program related activities? Are they able to balance those in and out of their classwork?
Absolutely. We have students who across the campus, they do pretty much everything. We have the athletes, we have the band, we have debate, we have every sport, I think. And, we have the cheerleaders, we have everybody. So they can not only balance, their coursework, they can also balance that with their athletics. And then you throw in the internships also. And we have to be really careful. We work with students so closely to make sure that if they, if they are a baseball player and their season is in the spring, then we don't want them to do their internship in the spring. We want them to do it in the fall. And so, we can make it happen. We work closely with the students so that they can balance out their other responsibilities like the internship. Just like psychology, we have a senior thesis as well. They do their research methods, they do their analysis, they present their findings at our academic excellence celebration, just like Dr. Eggleston mentioned. So our students have been able to balance all of that, and they do a really good job. I always think that if I was a college student, when I was a college student, I wouldn't have been able to balance out all the things that they do, particularly with so many different co-curricular activities that they do. Many of our students have jobs, so they do athletics, they work a job, they go to school. So they have a lot on their plate, but our students seem to do a really good job. And I think a lot of it is because we're such a small university and our classes are small, and we know the students, the faculty know the students so well that I think it makes it easier for the students. We know what they're doing, what they've got going on, and then how we can accommodate them. So I think that's an important part of what we do to help the students balance out their different responsibilities.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I'll finish here with another one of our questions. So why is research important in the social sciences, and how do faculty work to facilitate these opportunities at McKendree? So I know, Brian, you mentioned writing some papers with your students. So would you like to hit on a little bit about the research importance at McKendree and in this division of social science?
Sure. The research is central to the skills that we want students to have. We want students to be able to ask a question, gather some data, analyze that data, answer that question as best as they possibly can, and just go through that process. I could just give you one example. One of our stronger students in the last few years, Max, and we wrote a paper on transitional justice. We studied societies that went through civil wars, and some of those societies used war crimes tribunals and put the bad guys, on trial. Some of those societies used truth commissions. Nobody went to jail, but everybody's going to say what happened. And then some societies didn't do either of those. And we analyzed democratization trends down the road, human rights trends down the road. If when a country comes out of a civil war situation, what is the best sort of post-conflict approach to take? So we wrote that paper, we presented it at a conference. Somebody just randomly saw us, was in the conference panel, said, hey, I'm writing a book on this and I want that in my book. And so it became a chapter in the book. And so Max got a publication. He applied for a Pickering fellowship. He got his grad school paid for. And he is now in the State Department. He is a diplomat. He's living around the world as a diplomat in the U.S. State Department. And so things like that do and can happen. And so we encourage that research, work with a faculty member. Opportunities like that open up when you go down that road.
Thank you very much. The opportunities really are endless with research in all of these departments. And what about employers? So Guy, are employers familiar with McKendree graduates? As we kind of talked about earlier, we definitely make a name for ourselves. So what about graduate schools? Do you have some input there?
Yeah, McKendree University, I can speak mostly to the psychology program, of course, has built up a reputation among lots of local and local programs. So just to use the example of we have graduates at St. Louis University, at Washington University, at SIUE, all kinds of local programs. And beyond that, we've sent students to programs outside of that as well. And so I think, the people recognize McKendree University, but more so, I would argue they recognize the quality of the experiences that we've given students. So having things like a thesis capstone experience to argue that you're a good fit, it kind of speaks for itself. And then also we spend a lot of time helping students prepare for graduate program, applying, getting the resume together, getting cover letters together. And then we haven't really mentioned this, but we also have an entire career services office that basically does the same thing. So you get your individual advising about how to get into grad school from the people in your program, but then you also have this entire other office to support you in the process as well.
Thank you. Our career services is also a lifelong service, so you can even use that after you graduate from McKendree if you're making any changes in your career or wanting to go back to school. So it's a really great service that all of our students like to take advantage of as they go on to the real world and continue their education maybe. So finally, are social science graduates in demand in the job market? So Lauren, do you have anything to say about this? Would you say they are in demand in the job market and when students are going on to graduate and look for those jobs?
Yeah, I think just to reiterate what Dr. Quisenberry started out with, and then what all of us have said, is that critical thinking skills and being able to look at data, whether qualitative or quantitative, and being able to say something about it is really a skill. Because a lot of times my students will say, well, I want to think whatever you think, or there's only one way to look at this. It's either right or wrong. So being able to pick out nuances, analyze that data, and synthesize information is a skill that can be applied in any field. And so having a degree in history, psychology, sociology, political science shows that you know how to do those things. And especially being at a small school like McKendree, you are going to get awesome letters of recommendation because for writing letters of recommendation for jobs for my students, I don't just say, they were a student in my class and they did really well. I'm going to know you. I'm going to know what your passion is, what you're involved in, your background, what you want to do. And so not only have I witnessed this, but I do know that not only are graduates going out and applying for jobs all across the country and all across many different fields, but getting to know your professors and having them for multiple classes, I don't think that's something that we've touched on yet, but I do know that when you get these job recommendations, it's not just going to be somebody that, you know, says, oh yeah, they were in my class. We really know you and we're really going to support you. And so going on the job market with that kind of support, but then also having the skills to be competitive in any field is something that we in the social science division are very proud of.
Awesome, thank you so much. So this concludes the social science division part of our presentation here, and we are going to get into a little bit of admission information and how you can make it McKendree and be a part of our community. So I want to thank all of our panel members. We have a great faculty here at McKendree, and they are always willing to help students and help you succeed in any way that they can. So if anyone has any additional questions, you can always contact our Office of Admission here. You can find every one of these faculty members' information on the McKendree website, and they are always willing to shoot you an email or take a phone call if you have additional questions. So I'm going to go on and share the other part of our presentation here, which is our admissions portion of this presentation.
Founded in 1828, McKendree University is Illinois' first institution of higher education. Located in the historic town of Lebanon, Illinois, McKendree is a private university that provides students with a combination of comprehensive coursework and experiential learning. With a total undergraduate enrollment of 2,499 students, McKendree students represent 41 states and 38 countries. Conveniently located 30 minutes away from downtown St. Louis, McKendree offers the perfect mix of small-town living and big city adventure.
Okay, so out of our 2,500 students across all of our programs and campuses, 1,300 of those students are full-time undergraduates at our main campus in Lebanon, Illinois. While we maintain our long-standing affiliation with the United Methodist Church, we welcome and embrace students from all religions, ethnicities, socioeconomic backgrounds, and we're able to maintain a large amount of diversity in a medium-sized student body. Our newest data shows that our students come from 40 states and 40 countries. While 60% of our students come from the state of Illinois, we also draw many students from Missouri, California, Texas, Wisconsin, Ohio, Indiana, and Florida. We pride ourselves on the diversity of our student body. About 12% of our students identify as Black or African American, and about 9% are international students. These international students come all of the way from countries such as Sweden, Brazil, Italy, Thailand, New Zealand, and Kenya, among many others. Our beautiful campus sits on 112 acres, and when you visit campus, you can take in the character of our centuries-old brick buildings, perched on a hilltop, standing side by side with modern architecture, towering stately oak trees, and the warm familial feel that you will feel when you get to McKendree on campus. We are located here in the charming town of Lebanon, which is home to about 4,400 people. It is a safe community and has all the features that you want in a college town. Great restaurants, rich history, shopping, and great community support. You're also 25 minutes away from the Arch and downtown St. Louis, providing you with endless cultural, recreational, and professional opportunities in the form of research and internships, as you've heard from our faculty. We mentioned experiential learning, which half of McKendree students complete in an internship in any given year, and our students have interned at Fortune 500 companies, federal and various local government agencies, nonprofit and community service organizations, art organizations, and many more. The mixture of a safe and personal environment with big city opportunities is truly unmatched by any institution in our region.
With more than 50 academic programs and over 80 clubs and co-curricular activities, McKendree offers everything students need for an incredible college experience. With an average class size of 14 and a 98% postgraduate success rate, students are guaranteed to have all their academic needs met with success right around the corner. Oh, did we forget to mention our Bearcats participate in the NCAA Division II Great Lakes Valley Conference? McKendree not only excels in academic prowess, but also athletics. Would you like to become a future Bearcat? You can apply to enroll at McKendree University by following these simple steps.
As we mentioned, McKendree is a liberal arts college, which means that you will take part in an exciting, dynamic curriculum that will uniquely prepare you for post-college life and set you apart from other college graduates. In addition to developing strong skills in your chosen program of study, you will be able to form a well-rounded base of knowledge that you will be able to showcase to potential employers or graduate schools. Many high-level executives and corporations and other businesses and education professionals do routinely indicate that they prefer a graduate from a liberal arts college for this reason. This outstanding academic experience is enhanced by the personalized education that all Bearcats receive. None of our classes are taught by TAs. Every single class here at McKendree is taught by the instructor that is accomplished in their field and has vested interest in your success. And over 90% of these faculty have a doctorate in their terminal degree in their field. Our student to faculty ratio is 14:1, meaning you're going to develop those close professional and mentoring relationships with your professors, an opportunity that is rare at other institutions. Our faculty makes themselves available with plentiful office hours, and they will help you in class, meet with you for general career advice, or embark on research projects with you. Additionally, McKendree comes together every April for our Academics Excellence Celebration, which we mentioned a little while ago, on which no classes are held and students have the opportunity to present their research findings and share their creative works with the campus community. This day is very much personal for your academic experience and really gives you that real world experience that is uniquely offered at McKendree. So outside the classroom, there's no shortage of things to do here at McKendree, and we have almost 90 registered student organizations ranging from academic and pre-professional honor societies to community service organizations, as well as fraternity and sorority life on campus. Our Bearcats compete in the Division II Great Lakes Valley Conference, and the Hettenhausen Center of the Arts brings in guest speakers and artists, in addition to serving as the home for all of our performing arts programs. With our liberal arts curriculum and plentiful out-of-class opportunities, it's no wonder that we boast a 98% graduation success rate among all of our other programs. So that means within 6 months of graduation, our Bearcat alumni are employed or they are in graduate school, which is one of the best post-graduation success rates, not only in the St. Louis region or in Illinois, but in the entire Midwest. So choosing McKendree really is an opportunity to invest in your future as well. So we're going to go into the application process here and kind of talk about what that's going to look like for you.
Submit a free application online or apply through the Common Application. Next, submit your official high school transcript to your admission counselor. Official SAT and ACT test results are optional for the fall 2021 academic year in order to provide more access during these unprecedented times. Fill out your free application for federal student aid, also known as FAFSA, on October 1st. McKendree school code is 001722. Housing applications open on December 1st, so be sure to fill it out to get the ball rolling on meeting your new live-in friends. During the winter, financial aid packages will be available. And last but not least, the enrollment deposit deadline is May 1st.
So here is our entire application process at a glance. And the first step is to apply. So you can apply for McKendree on our website, which is apply.mckendree.edu. And it is a free application. We are also on the common application if that is the route that you want to take as well. So in order to provide greater access to students this year, we will not require standardized test scores from students hoping to start in the fall of 2021. This means that you won't be required to submit any SAT or ACT scores for admission or academic scholarship consideration. And all we will need is for you to send your high school transcripts to the Office of Admission, or your admissions counselor will connect with you and be able to get those from you as well as we discuss the next steps. We provide a holistic review of your application, which means that we don't only look at your GPA, but we consider the type of classes you've taken in high school, your earned grades and grade trends, as well as the information that you provided in some of your personal statements on your application, as well as your involvement in the application process. The 2021-2022 FAFSA became available for students October 1st, and we highly encourage students to submit a FAFSA because it really provides students with the opportunity to be considered for all sources of state, federal, or institutional aid. And your admission counselor will reach out to you directly once your financial aid package becomes available, but don't hesitate to reach out early. If you have any questions about the financial aid process, you can call or email your admissions counselor. Now, McKendree's housing application becomes available to committed students on December 1st, and we have a few options for our freshman residence halls. So we have our 3 traditional style residence halls and 1 suite style residence hall. Now, these 2 options range in price, layout, and experience. So please consider visiting campus so you can see them for yourself and find out what is right for you in living on campus. While we hope that you decide to make it McKendree right away, students are having their housing application May 1st is the deadline for the enrollment deposit to make your final decision and submit that enrollment deposit.
McKendree University is a place with so much to offer. From the residential experience to state-of-the-art classrooms, McKendree offers all the amenities to shape your university experiences in an amazing way. But don't just take our word for it. Take a look at what some of our students have to say.
Every single faculty member wants that personal connection with their students.
Our average class size is between 10 and 14.
The professor knows your name, they know your strengths. They'll recommend you for different groups, they'll recommend you for different programs, and they are just phenomenal.
Having these smaller classes, it makes it very easy to have a one-on-one conversation with them. It's easier to ask questions in the class.
Every day they walk into the classroom and they see a professor who is passionate and inspired, and that is contagious.
As previously mentioned, McKendree offers more than 50 academic programs, and our caring faculty and staff are ready to help you find your passion. A support network is already in place for you at McKendree. Student services are a large part of the McKendree community, as we are dedicated to the continuous growth and success of all our students. Services include a Student Success and Advising Center, equipped with tutors, a Career Services Center with advisors that can help you plan for the future, and public safety officers available 24/7. One of the most important factors in choosing a college or university is cost. Well, at McKendree University, we believe that higher education should be affordable. It is for this reason that we award over $24 million in institutional aid annually. We also offer a variety of scholarships, like the Dean's, the Presidential, and the Honors Scholarships.
So you can take a picture of this screen or keep in mind where your GPA falls in for our academic scholarships. If you have a 2.75 cumulative GPA or higher on a 4.0 scale, you're automatically going to receive these academic scholarships at the point of admission without even having to apply. So each of these scholarships are renewable for every year that you are at McKendree. And if you're awarded the honors scholarships, you will be admitted to our honors program, which allows you to take specialized general education courses and gives you the opportunity to write an honors thesis during your later years at McKendree, which is a great opportunity beyond the classroom and for graduate school. So if you have any questions moving forward with the McKendree process and how to become a Bearcat, please do not hesitate to either call or email your admissions counselor, and they will be there to help you every step of the way throughout the whole process of admissions. So I'm going to stop this share here and bring back all of our panelists. I want to thank you all very much for joining this presentation. It has been so informational and definitely something that has been an awesome resource. So if any of the students have any more questions or want some more information about these programs, please let us know. You can find the Office of Admissions information on the McKendree website, as well as every one of our panelists that were here tonight. So again, thank you all so much for joining me today and sharing this information about the social science division and all of the opportunities in there. And I look forward to working with all of you students as you make it McKendree and as we start this next chapter for you.